Developing right now, President Trump firing back and threatening consequences over reports that the war with Iran has nearly drained America's weapons stockpiles. The president overnight saying the U.S. has massive amounts of munitions and that many more are being built. The White House also dismissed Washington Post reporting that the president got into a shouting match with Defense Secretary Hegseth over extreme shortages. They say that's fake news. They say it never happened. Joining me now, I've got retired United States Army Brigadier General Shawn Harris. General, always good to have you, sir. What do you make of the conflicting messaging on stockpiles between all this exclusive reporting, the president's claims? Is the truth somewhere in the middle?
Good morning, Marky. It's good to see you again. You're exactly right. The truth is somewhere right in the middle. We have dropped a lot of rockets at this time in this particular war. What I would tell you is this. As far as the war fight is concerned, this war here that we're currently in, we have enough munitions to take care of it. But as war planners, we're always looking down the road. And I think that is where the ripper is coming right now, is saying if China or somebody else would do something to the United States, do we have enough systems in place? Because right now we cannot build them fast enough to replace them.
Yeah, if you're China right now, how are you watching this? How are you taking note, and what does that mean for other adversaries across the world?
You're exactly right. Everybody's watching us very closely. Everything that you and I are talking about right now is out there in open source. The reality of it is we would hope that these things are not right, but based on information that's coming out of the Pentagon, these numbers are very close. We have used up a lot. The question then comes into play, will we be able to replace them in a timely enough manner? As you know, or as your audience should know, some of these munitions take up to 2 to 5 years to replace them.
And the president, as I mentioned just off the top, is denying these multiple reports. He's now threatening to jail those who are talking to reporters and making what he claims are, quote, treasonous statements. But, General, we know that the Pentagon held an emergency meeting on Friday night to address the shortfall. So how do you square that, and take us through what you think what was likely said in that meeting?
Yeah, you know, right now, cooler heads need to prevail. I will say this. You saw the Secretary of War come out a few weeks ago and testify to Congress asking for billions of dollars. Inside of that paperwork that he was asking for, it actually talks about replacing some of these weapon systems that we have shortages in. So, like I said at the beginning of this interview, somewhere lies in the middle is the truth. And the reality of it is, as we continue for this war to be drawn out, we need to make sure that we're replacing the weapon systems that we have already used up. And right now, we're in the middle of what I would say a ceasefire. But as you know, Marky, we have a ceasefire today and we'll be fully fighting again. And I believe this is the 6th night that we have not actually had any strikes done.
Yeah, and all eyes on diplomacy and what's going to stick versus what's not going to stick. I find it interesting, too, General, that Iran and Oman say they're very close to finalizing some sort of framework of a deal to get commercial shipping to pass through the Strait of Hormuz. How in the world is the United States not part of those discussions?
Well, you know, right now, the way things are happening in the negotiation piece of this is it's just not good. There's no other way I can actually say it. The reality of it is if Oman and Iran comes up with an agreement, but at the end of the day we don't agree with it, then we can get back into another strike situation. So I believe that they should have an agreement. At least that's what I was saying on open source, and they have agreement by Friday. We'll see what happens. But I'm hoping that the Trump administration will come out with its negotiators and give us an update exactly what's going on with this piece of the discussion.
Yeah, well, we have gotten no updates since May 5th, if I have that correct, from the Pentagon. You know, we used to get them weekly from Hegseth, from General Kane. Is it about time that those start back up again, sir?
If I was giving recommendations to Pete, I would say this, sir. You need to come out and explain to the American people what is going on with this war, so that as we get into these situations of we got munitions shortages and all those kind of things, people understand why we're doing it, where we're going, and how we're going to get out of this war.
Retired United States Army Brigadier General Shawn Harris, always a privilege to have you, sir. Thank you for your expertise.
Thank you.